Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
So when we're talking about mother wounds, what we're talking about is essentially a mother who has unhealed childhood trauma. This is a mom who has unknowingly, in most cases, transferred her feelings of inadequacy, her feelings of unworthiness, her anxiety, her view of looking at the world onto her sons. And in this section, we're going to be talking specifically about sons. I do a lot of work when it comes to mother wounds and daughters, because obviously I had a mother who had a ton of mother wounds and I'm a daughter. And I understand how specifically a mother's unhealed trauma can affect a daughter. But I am also a unhealed daughter, or I should say I am working on healing my wounds forever in that process. I am the daughter of an unhealed mother who had a son. And I recognize how my unhealed trauma, my mother wounds, infected my son and affected my son in terms of him experiencing mother wounds as well. And those of us who are on the healing path, those of us who are looking at our childhood trauma, those of us who recognize ourselves as struggling with low self-worth, low self-perception, we have a negative perception of self, we feel inadequate, we feel broken, we look outside of ourselves for answers to why we feel the way we feel. And we are mothers, we also have to recognize how our unhealed trauma affects our daughters and our sons if we have sons. So a mother wound is the result of a mother being put in a situation where she has been raised by a mother who was emotionally unavailable, a mother who was highly critical, a mother that she could not please, a mother who had low self-worth herself, a mother who had unhealed trauma. In my situation, I was raised by a mother who was the adult child of 2 alcoholics. And my grandmother came from extremely humble beginnings, a lot of abuse on her side of the family. And you can just see that mother wounds are generational and how we pass them down from one generation to the next. The Bible says the sins of the mother and the father fall on the sons and the daughters. And so this is how programming works. This is how generational trauma works. And it's important for us to take the time as moms to recognize how our trauma affects our children. And today we're talking about how that trauma affects our sons. So trauma that we pass along to our sons is felt on a visceral level. Our sons absorb our trauma. They can watch a mother be self-deprecating. They can watch a codependent mother feel lost inside a narcissistic relationship. They can observe their mothers be highly critical of themselves, highly critical of others. Sons of mothers who have mother wounds, you may have been raised, if you are the son of a mother who is highly critical. Nothing you ever did was good enough. You could have been raised by a mother who saw you as her little husband. Maybe your mother had an unhealthy relationship with her spouse and you became the replacement spouse. And so in that sense, you grow up feeling invisible because your needs are not being attuned to. You become your mother's caretaker. You become your mother's friend. You become the little spouse. It's now your responsibility to make sure that mom's emotionally regulated. I've had male clients who at a very early age went out and began to provide for the family because mom was struggling financially and was unable for whatever reason to get her act together. And so the son takes up the sword of being the man in the house and then goes out and fends for mom. And there are situations where mom is an alcoholic and you have a son who is now taking on the responsibilities of the home. You have sons who watch their mothers participate and be involved in toxic relationships, and sons want to take care of their mothers naturally, and they end up giving their mother the emotional support that they're observing the partners of their mothers unable to give them. And in all of these cases, what's happening is that the son is learning that his needs don't matter. When we are unable to really see our sons, when we don't recognize how our trauma is affecting them, then...
So the voice of reason has returned. It's Wednesday, hump day. You already know what it is. First off, let me shout out to the listeners. I love y'all. This topic came from a brother. You hear him on the show from time to time. He has great insight. His name is Reggie White out of Austin, Texas. And this is a powerful topic. But this takes me back to the work of John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth with attachment theory. Now, listen, I don't believe that these theories are the end-all, be-all. I don't believe that they're gospel, but they are a good template to start with. A lot of brothers are upset and angry with sisters who say things like, "Who hurt you? Who hurt you?" Now, a lot of times when sisters say that to brothers, it's coming from a petty place. Because if I'm in the position to upset you, we must have attracted each other. So I could mirror that question back to you, but that's beside the point. I digress. What people fail to realize about relationships, and you hear me talk these things or speak on these things, you've heard me for 2 years now. And you know, when I see certain people, they try to be like pseudo confused. You are not confused about what I'm saying. You just want to be confused because you don't want to let go of your toxicity. So if I turn around and say relationships are holographic, and you go, well, what does that got to do with anything? And then somebody else comes along and says generational curses can be passed down generational. We're saying the same thing, right? A holographic relationship means your whole story, your whole spiritual and psychological lineage comes with you. So, see these children, boys and girls, as spiritual vase, a spiritual vase, right? And whatever is unhealed in those parental figures, primary caregivers, mother and father, single mother, single dad, whatever the construct, Whatever is unhealed in that primary caregiver is poured into this spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, and psychological vase that is a child. It reminds me of the great Bruce Lee. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. If you pour water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. What about unhealed childhood trauma? I don't care if your parents had a great education and a good job. What type of job did they do on themselves? And any fall off, listen, do you see how finely tuned it is? You've got some clinicians saying, this attachment stuff goes all the way back to the womb. If you're not being properly taken care of in the womb, the maladaptive attachment styles can begin there. Right? Think about that for a second. Right? If you miss an opportunity to nurture a child, to be present with a child, to pour into a child, to encourage a child, to validate a child, to vindicate a child, to uplift a child, to embrace a child, to collaborate with a child, to love on a child. Do you know that that child could be spiritually damaged in that moment? Do you know that? Clinicians might not say spiritually. They might say psychologically damaged, right? Philosophy, right? The love of wisdom. Psychology, the study of the soul. We can westernize it with Western terms, but it goes back to deeper meanings. I'm going to say you can spiritually damage that child. Now, if you can miss a moment and it could irrevocably change the course of this child's spiritual maturation, imagine the effects if you ignore what you need. See, we live in a society that's a hamster wheel. We keep wanting to level up, but leveling up costs. So now we're focused on maintaining the level up. And we're focused on all this external stuff. Getting and maintaining and getting and maintaining and getting and not losing and maintaining so we could stay and so we could grow, and then we get bored and we want to get some more and maintain some more. See, we're on a hamster wheel, right? We don't have time to look inward, to focus inward. But what is waiting on you? There is an unhealed shame wound. There's an unhealed worthiness wound. There is a wound that is centered around abandonment. There's an abandonment wound. There's an apathy wound. There's all types of wounds that need your attention. And just like you can't ignore the needs of a child, you can't ignore the needs of self. And when you have a child, before you have properly addressed the needs of self, in the name of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, you could be pouring into a spiritual vessel, a child. And that child will model and mold and shape itself to your hurt. What does worthiness wound mean? People who have this type of worthiness wound struggle with feeling inadequate or insecure or making more money or experiencing abundance. These emotional wounds cause subconscious thoughts that impact their decisions, and those decisions prevent them from becoming more abundant. But I think it's deeper than just abundance. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. Tonight's topic, Mother May I. A look at the fractured relationship between men and their mothers, unraveling the mother wound, exploring the impact on men's relationships and emotional well-being. When we come forward, the voice of reason shall continue this bonfire.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Single Moms Planet is a nonprofit organization dedicated to uplifting under-resourced single mom business owners and working mothers nationwide. Single Moms Planet offers comprehensive programs of financial literacy, business development, mentorship, and entrepreneurial training. They provide education, accountability, and hope. Single Moms Planet was founded by model, TV personality, and producer Nefertari Plessy. Nefertari felt firsthand the challenges that face single moms as she was raised by a working single mother. She learned that the most disadvantaged group in the United States are single mom families. According to the U.S. Census, 30% live under the poverty line. So she decided to do something about it, along with co-founder Cole Patterson. Their goal is to end the poverty cycle in single mother households through education, opportunity, and networking, providing family and child enrichment programs for under-resourced single-parent families. Single Moms Planet serves over 10,000 single moms and their children each year. Studies show that business development and financial literacy provide a positive environment for children and families, exposing them to new possibilities and opportunities. To attend one of their fun events, make a donation, or get more information, or if you need help as a single mom, please visit singlemomsplanet.org. That's singlemomsplanet.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes, why should we be silent? Turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation for KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007 they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Said a small boy once asked, when will I grow up? When will I see what grown-ups do see? In a spite to come of age, he would have to know the age to be recognized as one and not a mass. And Mama used to say, take your time, young man. And Mama used to say, don't you rush to get old. And Mama used to say, take it in your stride. And Mama used to say, live your life. As the years were rushing by, he would cut down on his age. He would tell his girl
Welcome to my latest YouTube video. Today, I'm discussing the mother wound and childhood trauma with my dear friend, my respected colleague, Rick Belden. Some of you already know because Rick and I have done a video together that Rick not only wrote the introduction for my second book, The Human Magnet Syndrome, The Codependent Narcissist Trap, but his friendship over the years has had a profound impact on me, the development of my ideas and my personal recovery. Plus, he's just a really nice guy. So, Rick, it's so nice to see you again.
Well, it's good to see you too.
But before we begin, I want people to know that Rick is an incredible, perhaps one of the best life coaches I know, who has a practice in Austin, Texas. Check him out, rickbelden.com, and find out about his work. I very rarely endorse coaches. He's not only the best, but he really gets this attachment trauma issues, or what we're going to discuss it. What's it called?
Mother wound is the terminology that I use.
Tell the viewers, what is a mother wound?
As I always tell everybody, I'm not a psychotherapy professional. I'm not a clinician. I work primarily out of my own life experience and the life experience of others that I've observed and been around. I spent a lot of years in support groups with other men, and so I've had firsthand experience watching people surface their inner material and work with it and learn how to frame it so that they can move forward with it. You know, what is it that drives your perceptions and your beliefs and your actions and your feelings? What is it that gives you the sense of what your identity is and who you are based on all of what you feel and perceive and your behaviors and so forth? Because I know in my experience, and I think it's true for a lot of people, a lot of what we consider to be our nature, our innate nature, our personality that we're born with, is in some ways kind of the product of a whole lot of mysterious stuff that's under the surface that we're not really fully aware of, if we're aware of it at all. And part of that set is the unacknowledged, unidentified, unresolved trauma that we.
I don't want to hear it. I know you're listening. You go, oh, these boring white men just talking. I'm tired of all of this psycho mumbo jumbo. Let me tell you something. That's your problem. When it gets serious, you want to turn seriousness into entertainment so you can stay focused. Your life is so superficial because you done spent so much time running away from the real work. Do you understand? Well, these white guys sitting up here talking about childhood trauma and unrequited wounds. All I need is sex, food, and sleep. No, that's not gonna deal with it. You think you need a better relationship than what you have? That means you're spiritually immature. Because what you have is a reflection of who you are. Your woman, brother, cannot be a spiritual multivitamin to supplement what your mama didn't have. And you gotta stop looking for women to show up in your life like that. But before women get to leaning back and, preach, brother, speak on it, the same applies to you with your broken tail. This is a bidirectional conversation. That's another thing I hate. You'll tune in to hear this topic about the men. Oh, yeah, he got a mother wound. I want to know about this. But when I sit you down and talk to you about your mother wound, oh, I don't really want to talk about it. I don't really want. This is a bidirectional situation. Women have mother wounds. Men have mother wounds. And both men and women, both genders, carry those wounds into their relationships. Agree or disagree? A nurturing mother helps to develop a sense of I am lovable and I am good enough for both men and women. How does the mother wound impact men? How would you describe the relationship between a covert narcissistic mother and her son? We naturally want to protect mama, even when she's toxic. And we take her toxicity into our adult relationships in the guise of rigid expectations for that woman. When we come forward, we go into the phone line.
You're young, so young, don't hold on back. Do all you want to do. Now is the time for you to stride, for you to get better in what you are doing. Oh.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The victims of the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse in Baltimore are being remembered more than a week after the tragedy. Maryland Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller led a moment of silence for the victims at the Board of Public Works meeting in Annapolis. Miller noted the administration of Governor Wes Moore, who is black, is working with federal, state, and local partners to provide relief for workers and businesses impacted by the partial shutdown of the Port of Baltimore. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson plans to move ahead with his predecessor's program to repair 4 aging downtown office buildings. He is proposing to use more than $151 million in public money to convert the structures into new living units. The mayor, who is black, announced that he will work on the projects this spring using tax increment funding money. The total cost of the developments is $520 million. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Join the Dodgers on Monday, April 1st at 7:10 p.m. against the San Francisco Giants, where the first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a Fernando Valenzuela jersey, courtesy of Bank of America. For tickets and more information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
We must understand the politics of our community, and we must know what politics is supposed to produce.
This election year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the place for politics, unapologetically progressive politics. And we've got two of the best and brightest to help you cut through all the noise. Weekdays at 1 p.m., it's A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nee Cordelai-Corte. And at 4 p.m., it's Areva Martin in Real Time. He's the university professor and distinguished member of the White House Correspondents Association. She's a best-selling author and Harvard-trained civil rights lawyer. And they are both here every day to help guide you through all the this year, because you know it's going to get deep. Get your politics on weekday afternoons at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. with A More Perfect Union, hosted by Dr. Nee Cordelai-Corte and Areva Martin in Real Time, only on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done,
You report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chucha's opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chucha's Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
It's the celebration of a living legend. It's the farewell tour. It's Maze featuring Frankie Beverly.
Thank you for the love to the
Also featuring the soul icon, Anthony Hamilton. Plus, After 7. It's a Mother's Day celebration, May 12th in the Kia Forum. In commemoration, come in your all white. Get tickets at Ticketmaster. Presented by the Black Promoters Collective.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
To summer. So I want to, take a dive back into some things that we were talking about before the little hiatus. And we are still on the Boys to Men series, where we are talking about wounds and wounds in boys and men, and how that impacts their relationships. And of course, today I want to spend some time talking about the mother wound in men, boys and men. And last time, on the last episode, if you haven't checked it out, be sure to do so. I talked about how the father wound impacts men. And the mother wound works a little bit differently, and it shows up in a number of ways. But when men have a mother wound is a result of having a mother that was not available to you, and for any number of reasons. So, mother who wasn't emotionally or physically available to you. Either your mom could have had a mental illness, a severe mental illness, and wasn't following her treatment protocol, and so may have been hospitalized for mental health issues. Your mother may have abandoned you. Your mother may have passed away when you were very young. Your mother may have been physically or sexually or emotionally or financially abusive to you from a very young age. Your mother could have been what I like to call, or what's not what I like to call, but what is called an authoritarian parent with an authoritarian parenting style, which means that they were very rigid, and didn't really allow for you to have any sort of sense of autonomy when you were growing up. And so you were to do as you were told. Um, and you weren't really seen as a individual person with your own needs and your own identity, type of thing. And uh, you were basically under
Just stop it. Do you know how many people out here say things like, I'm glad my mama raised me the way she raised me. I turned out okay. Do you know we are a traumatized people? Just slavery by itself. You're carrying that generationally. Right? Then, y'all somehow think by ignoring the wounds and making more money and getting better educated, but still not doing the self-work, that y'all was raised right. Right? The bond between a mother and her son holds profound significance. The concept of mommy issues in men has garnered attention in psychological and relational spheres, shedding light on the complex dynamics that shape individuals' emotional well-being and interpersonal connections. As we delve into the realm of the mother-son relationship, we confront the notion of the mother wound, a concept that transcends mere physical absence and delves into the deep-seated emotional scars that can influence men throughout their lives. Listen, how your mother loved you is how you are going to love her. I know you don't want to hear it put that way. How your mama loved you is how you going to love her. And if you were raised in a two-parent household, how they loved you is how you're going to love him or her. It's just what it is. I know you don't want to hear that. I know you don't want to hear that. I know you think your parents are beyond reproach. I know you think that you are somehow light years away from what's wrong with them because you moved away. Listen, wounds pack light. They come with you. Agree or disagree? The mother wound may have left a grown man hollow. A hollow feeling inside, and he doesn't know why. He may be left feeling hollow inside, and he doesn't know why. That's what a mother wound can do. You may feel lost. You may have found external matters to help you with self-soothing, as you don't have an image of a soothing mother to turn to. So now, the silent contract you signed with your woman is that she baby you. Is that she holds you to her bosom the way you wish your mother would have done. Come on, brothers. Y'all want to talk about it? You want a healthy relationship? Heal it with your mama. We got callers on the line. Let's get them in here. Sean, Oakland, California, it's your time to shine. Get in here.
Hey, Brother Zoe. So here, let me give you my example. This is the best way to do it. So my amazing mother, 82 years old, I had to not go on a vacation for myself right now where my daughter and my wife are on vacation, which is awesome, and I love it. But I couldn't go because, my aunt is taking care of my mom, my mom's sister, my aunt, and they have a place where she is. It's beautiful, but it was like she couldn't do it this week and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? My mom did me right. I'm going to do her right. I'm there and helping out. But this is how important, these things are. Because when you are a little kid, right, let's just be honest here, mommy issues, daddy issues, right? They're both equal, but these are little kids. This is very important, and if you end up having a divorce situation, which I did, I was lucky to have my uncle step in. He was like 22. I'm so lucky. Because had he not stepped into my life at that time, I don't know where I'd be today, Brother Zoe. I don't know. But this is why you have to have a community. You have to have a family. You have to have people paying attention, and Mama is going to do her thing, just to survive, right, if there's a broken relationship. And my dad was a wonderful person, but he couldn't be with just one woman. So I love my dad for all his great attributes, but that was not his. So we all deal with these problems, but people don't give up. And when these are little kids, please give them some space. Please give them some leeway because they don't need to be the dad in the family when they're like, 8 years old.
Man, I appreciate the insight, Sean, from Oakland, California. That's
Thanks,
what
brother.
you just did, man. You brought your city in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, I'm looking for Los Angeles to show up. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we're going to Austin, Texas. My guy, Reggie, the creator of this topic.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Hey LA, be an eco-friendly hero. Join LADWP's Power Savers program and use your smart thermostat to help ease strain on the electric grid during peak electric demand. You'll save electricity while you lower your bill. Plus, as a power saver, you can get up to $185 in prepaid gift cards. Don't have a smart thermostat? No problem. Shop and sign up at ladwp.com/Power Savers program. That's ladwp.com/Power Savers program. To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
It's a celebration of a living legend. It's the fair Hamilton. Plus, after 7, it's a Mother's Day celebration, May 12th in the Kia Forum. In commemoration, come in your all white. Get tickets at Ticketmaster. Presented by the Black Promoters Collective.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, yo, come on. Pick up the drum.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power!
You know you want some more. More. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
What your mouth don't say, baby, your thighs do. I want us to arrive together. I love it when the weather.
Back, I want to dive into this today. I just came off my inner work group call. And by the way, if you're interested in doing this deep dive with women, a group of 3 women, we dive in, we support each other, and in these groups, most of them had a mother wound. And so this insight really came from coaching them through this morning. And here's what happened. First of all, if you don't know you have a mother wound, it's okay. What it means is you're constantly looking to be validated. You never felt validated. You never felt totally approved of. This is when we have a mother who has her own wounds that have not been healed yet. So oftentimes it's not even her fault. She's going through a lot. She's just inconsistent, emotionally inconsistent. There are so many parts of this that I want to explain. So, first of all, when you don't feel like you can get validation, what oftentimes happens is you were the one working super hard to validate her. You had to validate her so that she would give you the love that you needed. And what this looks like a lot of the time is, if I'm like her, I get my needs met. But if I'm different than her, if I have autonomy, if I'm an individual, she's not happy. Oftentimes, we have a mother who might be slightly narcissistic. What that looks like is the very idea of you existing is the trigger. It was never about you. It was never your fault. This is harsh, but I'm going to go into it. If we have a narcissistic mother, she's very self-centered and she needs a lot of attention because even if she's in denial about her own childhood, she didn't get her needs met. So now you, as a baby with regular needs, is a trigger for her because she feels a threat when you're around. Now it has to be all about you. Now I have to do your needs. What about me? And oftentimes women will have babies to be mother of the year, to feel loved by the baby. And what happens is they start hating the baby or getting resentful of the baby because the baby isn't giving them the love they thought. They now have to give the baby love and they get triggered. This is harsh, but this is true so often. So you may have felt, I don't even think I should exist because my very existence, my very basic needs are a problem. Yeah, if your mother is narcissistic or unhealed in some ways, you getting attention is triggering for her. But you'll notice if you're an extension of her and you line up because you're like her and you have similar needs and similar likes as her, you get validated. If you're being your authentic self and it's different from her, invalidated. So many of us feel that our authentic self is the issue. It's the issue for her, but it's not actually an issue. Let's dive into this. I had a client.
Wow. Do you know this is more common than not? Everybody think their situation is perfect. Everybody think their situation is good. Do you know this is more common than not? You've got a parent that may have a maladaptive attachment style. You know, attachment styles are fluid. All right? You got a parent with unhealed, unrequited childhood traumas. You got a parent that is more ambitious and ambivalent than they are caring, present, and loving. Do you know all of this is affecting the child? And attachment theory is a psychological, evolutionary, and ethological theory concerning relationships between humans. The most important tenet is that young children need to develop a relationship with at least one primary caregiver for normal social and emotional development. You heard me mention how black people parent. Extension cords, racetracks, hot water bottles. And that's from my generation, right? Now, the preceding generations that have come, or the subsequent generations that have come after, have inverted it. Now, the internet and social media is the babysitter, right? We've got so many other things that we're focused on that the babies tend to get acknowledgement from their avatar, from their profiles. Do you see how it is flipped? Oh, man. Okay. Let me get my brother Reggie in here. Reggie from Austin, Texas. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Man, there's so many thoughts. The first one is the topic wasn't made to blame anybody. Our parents did the best they could with what they had, and they did a great job. It isn't to blame anybody for that. I love my parents. The issue is that nobody's perfect. And that imperfection, like you were saying, is passed on to their children. And the thing is, you see yourself as a man, and you want to say something, and it's like you have this energy in you, and you know it's not good energy, and you want to get it out, but you don't know how. And so the relationships we have with our parents, the relationship we have with our friends, all of those things make you who you are, or at least they give you a start to being who you are. And we want to grow better. You know what I'm saying? I listen to this show because I want to get better mentally and spiritually. And you provide some of that.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. What I really want to get to is when you know there's an issue, how do you identify it and how do you deal with it? Because we've been dancing around the issue for a long time. You know it's there, but you don't know what to do with it.
Okay,
you see what I'm saying?
So let's break this down in pieces.
Okay.
How do you identify it, but you know it's there? So just remember, you typically know what needs to be worked on. You know why? Because it comes to the surface of your consciousness. Hold tight. When we come forward, me and Reggie about to start this thing up. It's about to get crazy.
Touching when no one has ever touched before. The heat got you open like an oven door because of your innocence. Even more you'll remember this hardcore gentleness. Before you wasn't into this, on the ride your freak became limitless. Holding on to the night and me tight as we write on the walls. A story called Go.